Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 27th, and I'm free. Um, I'll explain that in a second. I have to get over some of my joy. Um, I shouldn't be this happy. And I'll explain that too. I got fired from my job. Um, Here's why. And I'm going to give you all the details as best as I can. The rhyme or reason is somebody sent a letter or note or whatever to Dickey's corporation, not to my local store, to the corporation, which tells me two things. One, the person probably does not live in this area. Two, the person probably took a lot of stuff out of context or whatever and tried to use it against me because of whatever reason. There's always some kind of troll out there. So it went from corporation to the local owner, the West family, and they decided they didn't want me there no more, which is kind of funny because I don't think I've slandered anybody. I really don't think I've slandered anybody to the necessity of basically more meriting of being fired, but I don't care. The funny part is it also came on the cusp of having somebody who didn't need to work there getting fired. And the reasons why I think this person shouldn't have been working there is whether you have a medical green card or not. And I don't think at his age he would warrant a medical green card. That, in fact, I don't think they have medical green cards here in the state of Missouri yet. I'm not sure about that one. I know they were saying, sign up for one, but I don't know if they've actually been giving them out or if they've been doing medical exams to basically make sure that these people warrant the medical marijuana. But like I said, I don't care. Why? Well, let's see here. Jan has been wanting me to take off time. I've been wanting to take off more time. I've been working like a dog. We have been fortunate enough to be given or granted I don't know what kind of it's a kind of loan because of Jerry's issues and work problems and things like that. The thing is, the loan, it's a very nice loan. It was I'm not going to give out sums of money, but it was a nice fat sum of money, and basically we'll owe back 1% of, basically the payback is like 1%. So it's a very inexpensive payback, and it's a payback at your leisure. There's no stresses. That, in fact, let's just say the sum of money would be the equivalent of 6 months worth of me working this job. We've already sat down, we've already talked about it, we've already made plans, we've already made decisions. And one decision is sometime today I'm going to jump online just to file unemployment to see if I can qualify. Second off, we've already basically said, hey, look, a good large fat chunk of our credit card debt, whatever you want to call it, has been paid off. So it will give us at least, well, I will have at least 3 months before or 2 to 3 months before I have to worry about looking for a new job, which is awesome because then it gives us, me and Jerry, time to do all the projects we've been wanting to do. Hopefully build her back up on her channels. Hopefully build up my channel. there will be no like laxing or being lazy or just sitting back and doing nothing and watching TV or playing games all day long. No, we have plans for today. Our plans for today is to sit down, hammer out a detailed list of things that need to be done, or we've been planning on doing, just been putting it off and whatnot. Um, the plans are, once we get our list, figured out and whatnot, I will start cleaning, and Jerry Ann will get the opportunity to sit in her craft room and do her crafting thing while, if she needs my help, she can. Okay, that's a recycling truck. She can call me and ask me to come in to help her out briefly, and then I'll go back to doing whatever I was doing. That into factor, my plans for some of my free time when I'm not cleaning is to sit back and enjoy my books. So I'm not upset. I'm not hateful. I'm not going to be spiteful. I'm not going to do anything that could either further insult or further damage the issue. I'm hoping to be able to sit down and discuss what happened with the whole situation with Dickey's, because I want to know who my accuser was. I want to find out who made these accusations so I can deal with it at my leisure. And what I mean by that is, when I find out who that person is either going to get slammed with problems. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just know who my accuser is so I can call them out on it. Because if it was a troll from YouTube, I can get a hold of YouTube and have that person removed. Because they basically trampled upon my God-given rights as well as my First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. And I'm not tolerant of that. I will not tolerate that. There are certain freedoms in this world that are not only God-given, it is God's gift to us to be able to do it, but it is part of the American Constitution with freedom of speech. And it's also slander. Not in the factor of, unless Dickey's cannot tell me exactly what was said or by whom, or if it was a YouTube video, which is what I was told. Somebody basically used YouTube against me. I want to prove I want to prove otherwise. I want to prove that the factor that what I have been saying on YouTube about Dickey's within the last couple months is not so rude or anything like that to warrant being fired. That in fact, it's one of those things that I'm looking out about, because YouTube and other social medias have become a platform for freedom of speech. Yes, there has been a lot of people who have abused that here on YouTube, but I personally think it's something that the lawmakers need to look at to create new laws to help protect people who work via YouTube. YouTube is their platform, it's their income, it's their life. And if I want to do what I want to do, which is going to make YouTube my life and my base income, to help out, just like Jerry Ann had for some years had a good income through YouTube because of her crafting skills and her cooking skills. But this is also an opportunity for me to perfect my my craft and my YouTube, and start sitting down and creating a I don't want to say script, but a scheduled topic of conversation for however long, weeks, whatever. Just like I was starting and I stopped, and I'm going to restart the topic that I was using not too recently, called Man versus Nature. And I want to sit down and write in detail a schedule of the areas within that frame that I want to talk about. Then I can, after I'm done with that series, I can start on what I've learned from my the Hagee Living Hagee book, or any one of the Norse mythology books or Viking books or anything like that. I'm trying not to go down that rabbit hole because that's going to go into a gray or dark area that I don't want to go into anymore. But I can already tell within the last 24 hours, because when I got home last night, Jerry was surprised I wasn't getting upset and I'm gonna, no, I was just kind of calm. I didn't see it as a bad thing because from the time I left Dickey's after being told I was fired to the time I got home, and I kind of took the long way home just so I can relax, and I played some music that helps me clear my head. And I realized on the way home there's such a large silver lining. I mean, the silver lining is we're not going to struggle with money for a while because money's good. Money's really good right now. Not that we're going crazy. I think the craziest thing we did so far was to buy, the things from Amazon. I think I put that on a video. I hope I put that on a video. Well, if I didn't, here's what I got from Amazon. I got some, I don't have them in here anymore. I got some bracelets, leather bracelets with the Tree of Life symbol on it, and I got 2 books. One was called Living Hagee, The Secret to Nordic Happiness, or The Nordic Secret to Living Happily. And then I've got this book, and both books are basically, well, this one that I have in my hand is all about how the Viking, living like a Viking, eating like a Viking, the different ways Vikings made their tools, their boats, their religion, the whole 9 yards. It's literally a handbook on how to be a Viking. The other one, which is more modernized, is basically the Norse or Nordic Secret to Living Happily, or as the word would be, Hagee, which is one of the many new words I learned. At least Hagee is the easiest one to say. The other one is, cannot pronounce it, but basically it means to live an open air life. And what I've already, through my glancing through the Hagee book, it talks about how to get back to nature, living happily, getting out and enjoying life, being more social, social gatherings, food for social, all kinds of different things. I'm just sitting there, we Americans need this more than anything else in the world. Excuse me, but I think it's I think it's something that I will definitely share with you because, like I said, I think a lot of Americans that live in hustle and bustle, even right here in a small town Rollout, where I can drive less than 5 miles and find a forested, wooded area to walk through or whatever. It also talks about living simplified living, which means less clutter. Like, I can tell you this much from just reading the book and sitting in this room. This room is great. Most European houses, I remember this from Germany, most European houses, white walls, white lace curtains to let sunlight in during the summertime. Granted, you gotta realize a lot of the areas that I'm talking about, Germany, Norway, Finland, Sweden, a lot of the places that were either considered part of the Nordic Empire, which right now, the Nordic Empire is basically Iceland, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the five major countries that still have a lot of their roots in the Norse people. Of course, this book was written by a Norwegian who now lives in London. So, but anyhow, I literally want to sit down and start scheduling stuff like this so I can keep track of what I'm doing and not have to worry about, time on here compared to time in life. Like if I go to do videos in the morning, I'm like, I gotta do this within 30 minutes because I gotta get ready for work. I don't have that stress no more. Yay! I don't have the stress of getting called on my day off or 2 hours before I'm supposed to work going, hey, can you come in here? We're desperate. I will say this about my job. For the most part, about 99, well, let's say anywhere between 95 and 99% of the time, it was a good, enjoyable time. Yes, there was stressors because it's like there's two people, there's me and one other person, and here comes a line of people, and it's like, they were lacking of manpower, which, up until about a month ago, we weren't desperate, but when it started getting busier and we were getting catering orders and we were getting a lot of different things going on, and it was getting busier and busier, we were like, hire people, please. And we did hire one kid. He started the day I got fired. I'm of two minds about my job now. I mean, yes, management, there were problems within management, and I don't know if that was because of management kind of got dumped on the two people who were placed in charge, between Randy and Lisa. Yes, I'm saying their names now. I used to say their names all the time, but I never said anything really, really bad. And if my coworkers, or even if the company had been watching my videos and saw something that was not exactly kosher, I wish they would have come to me so I can either clarify it to them or something. But it is what it is. And all I know is, with them firing the kid Sunday and then firing me today, or yesterday, I should say, they're going to be really hurting. They're, as I would put it, they're cutting their nose off to spite their face. Or as my father would put it, they basically picked up a chicken, cut its legs off so it couldn't run around, then cut its head off so it couldn't see what it was doing. It's the way modern day business works nowadays, and I'm like, especially here in Missouri, I don't have to worry about it no more. I don't. Do I miss it already? Not really. Why? Because the fact that last night, let's just put it this way. One of the reasons why I am so giddy and so happy and so energized is because last night I slept the sleep of lack of stress. I mean, I slept like a rock. Jerry Ann told me this morning she had to get up at least twice early this morning to go to the restroom. I think she's dealing with a couple medical issues that we're trying to deal with at home because they're not severe enough for her to run to the bathroom. Run to the hospital. She said, I did not faze me one iota. And I was like, yeah, because I don't have stress anymore. So my body and my mind is like, crash time. I actually came to bed a little bit, well, Came to bed at my normal time, and I think I fell asleep instantaneously once I laid my head down. I didn't need music to help me settle. I did need a washcloth over my eyes because my eyes were feeling dry and irritated. I think it's because it's allergy season, and yesterday they were here in the morning time when I was leaving for work. They cleaned up my yard. They got rid of all the yard debris. The two dead dying trees. Basically, they trimmed up my bushes, my hedges and whatnot around the house, and the overhanging from the bushes on the side. I call it the side wall. It's not an actual wall. It's just a group of shrubs or tree-like bushes that were starting to grow and lean towards the house, and we wanted to get rid of that. And we just had a guy come in to give us an estimate on getting rid of the leftover stump from the dead tree. I kind of don't want him to grind it down. They're going to grind it down so they can get rid of it and then fill it in with topsoil and whatnot. I kind of don't want them to do that. 2 reasons why. One, I think it looks cool, and I can like set up a little gnome garden and hope nobody takes anything or natural elements don't damage it. But I'm everything's falling into place in such a manner that it's just kind of like, wow. I don't feel the stress. I don't feel anxiety. I don't. Tears of joy, tears of joy. That infected allergies. We'll blame it on both. But no, we've got money set aside for a mini vacation trip. We're going into Illinois. Excuse my excuses. We're going into Illinois for a friend's eldest child is graduating from high school. So May 16th, we're going to Chicago for that. Mom's willing to put out the money for hotel rooms. Oh man, okay. Now that I'm hearing every noise in the world, I'm curious about everything. Just the way my brain is. When we go into Illinois, I'm hoping that we can spend a little extra time in Illinois because I want to go to Chicago. I have not talked to Mom about this yet, but I want to go to Chicago, and even if we don't go all the way to Chicago, maybe we can arrange a day where my cousin Pam, who lives in Chicago still, we can meet up, because I don't know Pam. I don't remember Pam other than stories and pictures and very little information. I love my family. There's many members of my family I have not yet met. Or if I met them, it was brief and I don't remember squat because that's how my brain is. But Pam and I, let's just put it this way, not knowing her personally, not having direct connections with her, we've never met, we've never sat down and talked face to face. It's always been message through, either I've seen a lot of stuff from her on Facebook or messages and comments via Facebook or here on YouTube. I know Pam is much older than I am. She's probably in her, I'm going to say probably in her 50s, if not older. I think Pam's a grandmom. I'm not sure. But without giving a lot of extreme details, Pam and I are kind of like I wouldn't say the black sheep of the family, but we are definitely not in the same herd as the rest of my cousins that I know. Um, the reason why is most of the Henson cousins don't live in Chicago anymore. We have cousins here in Missouri. Most of the cousins that I know are either in Arizona, Colorado, or Texas, I think. Now I know the cousins that Pam and I are connected to by blood, by direct relationship. In other words, Pam's father, my father, and my cousins in Arizona, their father, were all brothers. Um, so it's like we're first cousins, not second or third cousins. Um, so I mean, yeah, I would love to be able to say, hey, since we've got the money, let's go on a road trip. Let's go to Arizona, and Jerry can meet my family in Arizona that I'm constantly talking about. Maybe get Matt Henson down there or come out and have Matt. I've been trying to get Matt Henson to come to me, or go up to see Matt Henson up in Chicago, not Chicago, Seattle area. But I don't want to overstretch our current money that should last us a good couple months. Um, that in fact are Jerry Ann and I are hoping that after we get done with the May 16th weekend event, when we get back here, we'll sit down and talk about, do I need to start looking for a job? Can it hold off? That kind of thing. I've got at least 3 weeks, 3 weeks from Sunday, so a little over 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 5 days, however you want to put it, to get a lot of stuff done around the house, and then decide after May 20th, basically. May 20th, what we're going to do. But like I said, my energy level today is pretty darn good. I'm like, I can tell you this much. Because of the factor of I don't feel the pressure of the stress because of a job. I woke up this morning, I'm like ready to go, energized. My back doesn't hurt. The only thing that hurts today is, the side of my neck. And I think that's because of the way I slept. So like my neck region hurts. And I think that's just the way I slept. But I don't feel any back pain. I don't know some pain in my knuckles and whatnot, or joints, and I think that's just some sort of arthritic. What I would love to do, just because of the issues I do have that will flare up from time to time, and I might look into it, I don't know, and it has nothing to do with wanting to work or having to work, is I would love to be able to fill out for some sort of disability so I don't have to really worry about a job outside of my house. But that would probably take a lot of hoops to jump through and paperwork to deal with, and probably seeing a therapist of one form or a physical therapist, maybe even a psychological therapist, just to deal with my psychological issues. I don't know. All I know is the future looks very bright. There's a lot of things that I can now scratch off my to-do list. And what I mean by that is just stuff that has been on a reoccurring list, because we would make a list and that list would disappear, and then we'd make another list and that list would disappear. And we'd get basic stuff done, not heavy duty rearranging rooms, doing thorough cleanup, doing like literally go through everything and go, are we gonna do we need this? Sorry, I'm all of a sudden stuttering. That's a new development. And I can actually sit down and start working on a lot of personal things, like quieting my mind, and this dry skin, this irritation that keeps coming up on my forehead, which is, I think, primarily stress induced, will start going away. A lot of my health issues I know are stress related, and I can already feel them slipping away, which is awesome. I can get back on to planning meals and getting healthy, eating healthy again, and stop buying junk just because it's easy to grab, because that's the way I've been feeling for the last year. I used to think that a lot of things were happening because of work relations, was self-sabotage. But now that I think about it, I don't know if it was self-sabotage or if it was legitimate um, psychological or physiological stressors due to my job. Because the job was starting to get stressful because of all well, I started getting stressful sometime after Christmas because I'm going to go ahead and say names. I don't care anymore. I really don't. And it's not because of factor. Let's just put it this way. I know it's not going to be rude, so I don't care. Around Thanksgiving, Christmas, Debbie Hudson, which was partial owner of Dickey's, and it was part of basically a franchise. Debbie Hudson had her husband start a new used car dealership. There was a new baby in the family for her family. Her daughter had a grandchild. Well, Debbie West's daughter had a child. And then something happened sometime back in late January, early February, I think. Maybe it was late February, early March. I can't remember the dates and whatnot, but it was towards the first or second month of the year. Debbie Hudson was having issues, I guess, with the West family. I don't know what the issues are. I never asked or dug into it. I just, left it as, okay, it's between them. It's not my issue. I do know that Debbie Hudson was spending less and less time at Dickey's because of what was going on at the car dealership, which, I'll be honest with you, as a person who can think on both sides of the coin, if you're having trouble with your partner in a partnership at, Dickey's or any other company, and you've got something that makes you better or gives you more time with your family or whatever it is, and you can afford to step away from or sell your partnership of the one business, hey, I would probably be I'd be doing the same thing. But what happened was a lot of responsibilities, I mean, literally just about every aspect of the store was dumped on Randy and Lisa. And Lisa had already been given the training or the knowledge to do truck orders and scheduling, as well as catering. And Randy, I don't know what happened with Randy's aspect of being the general manager, but Randy kind of had things dumped on him as well. But since Lisa already knew the bulk of what needed to be done, he wasn't too concerned about it, which personally, me, if I was to become literally had GM-ship dumped on me like it was on Randy, I would want to have my hand in everything. Randy is a great worker. I can't complain about him as a worker. As a GM, I kind of think he should know more. But whatever agreements were made between Randy, Lisa, and um, Debbie West, the sole owner of this particular Dickey's franchise. Um, I was not a manager of any sort. I just happen to be one of these people who know enough about food service industries that I could easily be a manager or a GM. Do I want GMship? No. Management? Yes, to some degree. Um, and to me, when you work in a food industry, it's not about titles, because from owner to crew member, basically owner, GM, assistant manager, second assistant manager, shift lead, to crew member, um, we all work in the same basic environment. So it's literally one of those. Okay, yes, you're the crew member. You're supposed to be the low man on the totem pole. You're supposed to do all the dirty work, basically. But we're gonna help each other out on everything. When I worked at Taco Bell, I want to use Taco Bell as for instance. Before I left Taco Bell, my general manager was a night manager, and he was one of three people who trained me on how to do all the stuff that I was responsible for as a crew member. But even when Gatton became general manager of the store I was working at, he still, when he wasn't doing his part of the job, his managerial stuff, he would come over and help out on the line just to get people revved up and going. And yeah, Gatton, because he's been working there for a long time, could, whip out a burrito or a taco in seconds. And because he worked his way up the line, he knew that the crew members sometimes need a good, not stern, hardcore lecturing, but like, hey, look, you guys are getting a little slow, and our times are getting a little high. Let's, and he'd come over there and start whipping out burritos and tacos and whatnot. But not every GM is going to be the same, and I understand that. But the thing is when you have to do certain things as a GM, and you don't really want to do it because of the fact that you don't like doing it, I understand. I really do, because I've done a lot of things I didn't want to do, but I knew I had to. As a GM back in New York, assistant manager, I worked all positions in fast food. I appreciate the approach that Randy had when it came to firing me, and I appreciate the factor that he basically gave me this is why, this is what he was told. Now, I'm not going to say that anybody is fibbing or anything like that, but I am going to say that to some extent, I wish it was David West that did the process, because I would have asked her more questions before departing. And I did not depart in a huff. I did not depart angrily. I got done talking to Randy, went inside, clocked out, and calmly walked out, got in my car, and sent a couple text messages out to various people to let them know what happened, or to let them know I was not working there no more, and came home. Parts of me wanted to be my old self, where I would be upset, angry, yelling, throwing stuff. ready to punch something. I didn't feel any of those emotions. I just kind of went, okay, go home, sit down, talk to Jerry, talk about what we could do, talk about plans, and then move on. And that's exactly what I did, even though for a better part of the evening, I was kind of numb and whatnot. But I know certain things about Dickey's, and I know certain things about proper food, a lot of legalities or things that I could do to stir up trouble, but I'm not going to. Will I ever try to go back to Dickey's, or will I ever try to order food from Dickey's? Yes. I love their food. I just personally think with the issues that they currently have in manpower that they were foolish on how they dealt with this situation. Now, if it's true that it was Dickey's Corporation that told the Wesses to get rid of me, well, I find that hard to believe because 9 times out of 10, unless you do a serious crime that cannot jump up and bite them in the butt, most corporations don't worry about hiring and firing. They leave that up to the franchisee, the owner of the franchise, or whatever. So I just want to look into it. I want to find out what exactly happened so I can either be at peace with it or decide if I need to do something to possibly protect a potential employee who basically has YouTube or some other social media platform on the side. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Anyhow, this video got a little bit longer than I wanted because, well, my brain just wouldn't stop. Yep, 42 minutes. Anyhow, that is my blog, whatever you want to call it. For the moment, I may or may not put another one out later on today, depending on how I feel or what I do during my free time. So until next time, excuse me. I'm jumping ahead and I'm having coffee. Coffee burps. Yum, yum. Anyhow, I crack myself up sometimes. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the question comment box. If you're new to my channel and enjoy this video or enjoy some of the other videos that you might have watched from the past, go ahead and click on the subscribe button if you choose to. And there will be a little bell that'll pop up. You click on that bell and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. And until next time, have a good day. Bye.